Race fans, the funny cars are back. Kearney Raceway Park welcomes Funny Car Chaos. Friday night and Saturday, July 7th and 8th. This is the fastest, loudest, most ground-poundingest drag race of the year. Kids 12 and under get in free, and every ticket's a pit pass. Plus, don't miss the fireworks show Saturday night. It's Funny Car Chaos at Kearney Raceway Park, July 7th and 8th. And you just gotta be there. Visit krpi.com for more info.
Yes, you got to be there, but we were there, and we're talking about that great race that just went down there at Cordova Dragway. I'm Lee Kraft, a.k.a. the Monday Morning Racer, pit correspondent for Chaos Nation, and over there next to me is David Rattan, the voice of the Chaos, high from the tower, overseeing it all. David, how you doing in Cordova? What a time it was.
And I'm telling you, it was so great to be there. The Summer Nationals, the Crown Hart family bringing the Summer Nationals back last year, and we got a chance to be the opening act for the return of the Summer Nationals. But Act 2 here in 2023 was just exceptional. The crowd came out. They were enthusiastic. They were loud. They were excited about what all we had, and there was so much to be excited about. I mean, the big flames, the big numbers, the big time. It was really a good time. And, we got to have 32 cars qualify, and it was just, the hits just kept on coming. And, Cordova has always had great sportsman following, and they had so many racers there for the sportsman categories, the box and the no box and the quick aid, and the junior dragsters came out in force. And, some great cars that run in Victory, Nostalgia Super Stock, and those Outlaw Pro Stocks and everything. But, man, what a funny car race it was. I mean, it just kept on giving us big things to talk about, round after round, run after run. Cordova, man, it's a hit.
For sure a hit. And, hey, speaking of junior dragsters, shout out to Pamela Lawson, right, in the little junior funny car out there competing. It was so cool. Junior funny cars obviously take the cake when they're out there because they're so rare to see. At Lancaster Dragway there was a young lady that had one, but Pamela's got hers, and it's always cool to see. So glad that Man of War 3 is out there in competition as well and able to duke it out with the long and skinnies of the junior dragster ranks. Now, yes, what a time it was. In Cordova, shook things up. We are seeing the points play out in such a way that I don't think, David, we've quite seen points play out in all of Chaos history since its inception, because the quote-unquote big dogs, they're not leading the pack right now.
Well, the big dogs are chewing each other up and spitting each other out. And, so those quickest and fastest cars, you are exactly right. It has never been like this way before. And so the shakeup in points, and just, doing my reviewing before we came on the air, and we've got 16, the top 16, 14 of those top 16 are coming into Kearney. And, and we're looking at 32 funny cars entered for Kearney right at the moment. That's more funny cars than we've ever had there. And it is just going to be a knockdown drag out there as well. 14 of the top 16 in points coming into Kearney. And, it's going to be another showdown up there. Kearney is always a great place to go. And I think people, they come in and they're not sure what to expect from a town the size of Kearney. And, and they, of course, one thing they do, they get there and they go down to the top end of the racetrack and they go, man, this is a long track. It's kind of like Cordova. There's tons of shutdown area there. And, you know what I'm talking about. You were there last year, and it's like so far down there waiting for the interviews.
Yes, long. Man, I'm like, hardly. It was like, there's a lot that did not even need to shoot. They were just, let's check. Let's make sure we got them. Very long track. Yes, nice little facility in a neat town there in Nebraska for sure. And, with Cordova and the point shakeup, David, Tom Furchess, he made a bold statement in an interview that I had with him. He said very pointedly that 2023, then the year, is the year for Made in America to be number one. That man is tired of being second and tired of just being in the top five. He wants to be the top. And right now, tracking to do it.
Yeah, he is. And, we kind of talked about this, and he is, and we'll talk about it a lot more because he has got this figured out round by round, race by race. And, he knows what he wants to do. And it's one thing to know what you want to do, and it's another thing entirely to be able to perform at that level, to qualify like you want to qualify, to run as quick or as fast as you need to, and to be able to, qualify like you want to and go rounds and get that final round win. And it doesn't always go that way, but you can just kind of see the wheels turning with Tom. He's come in this year. We didn't see him on the entry list for hardly anything early in the season. It's kind of like, where's Furchess? Where's Furchess? Is he sitting out this year? Well, I think we have our answer. He is not sitting this year out. He has come to play for keeps, and he is delivering on that, that engineering data, that engineering mind of his. He's got it figured out as to what he wants to accomplish. In football, they call that game planning. And so he has most definitely game planned what he wants to do at every single racetrack. And when he comes in and he and his crew are able to do that, it's working out well, really, really well for him. And what a deal. He's a dad, and it was his birthday, and he gets the win in the race, and he comes away with 62 out of the possible 63 points that you can get, and just takes the points lead. I think Cordova is an event that the Furchess family is probably going to remember for a long, long time, because it was a big day for that team out of Colorado.
It certainly was a big day for them, and got it done on the right day and got it all that you could except just one little point. But I'm sure he is far more concerned about the many points ahead of him. And David, we're getting near to get our first guest on, but definitely I think we've got to talk about, look at the first part of the season. We've got races such as the Classic at the Texas Motorplex, this race, the Summer Nationals at Cordova. And I would say the only one that was normal, if I can say normal when it concerns chaos, is Odessa, because Eddyville in and of itself was this special grand event with Nitro Chaos on the grounds along with Funny Car Chaos. There have been some heavy hitters that are not running for the points show up to these events, but we're about to get into a stretch that will be the normal competitors duking it out for sure and fighting amongst themselves down to the end of the season when we look towards Louisiana and the Cajun Nationals and making that race finally as a championship final. So definitely want to dive into that after our first guest with you on your take of what it's going to look like with the likes of Williams and Cameron and Lawson and Furchess and Barker duking it out, and the quote-unquote big bad nitro cars not intervening and interfering with the championship run. I think that's going to be an interesting discussion.
It is. It really, really is. And it's going to be a tale of two halves of the season. And you pegged it, man. With the Classic, with all the hype and the car count and the big show cars and the near big show cars, and Cordova wound up being almost exactly that way. And you put that into the mix, and that's why you see the shakeup that we have up at the top, because the contenders that have typically been able to qualify number one or qualify number two and go out there and be squaring off with each other in the final rounds, it hasn't been that way. And it's not that they, it's almost unprecedented that the nitro cars have done as well in chaos competition as they're doing this year. So you look back in years past and you go, yeah, there might be a nitro car in the final, but they may or may not be in the winner's circle. Well, this year they have, for whatever reason, stepped up to the point that they're putting those big numbers that they need on the board. They're still not running away, run off and hiding from anybody. But they have managed to get that extra little bit, whether it's at the starting line or whether it's on a top end charge. They've been able to take out the consistent performances of these high powered alcohol fueled cars that have typically run the table in chaos. So yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later on, but that is exactly right. That's going to change starting in Kearney.
All right, up next, folks, the winner in the D Field, Mr. Neil Girot. We're going to talk to him next.
What can 360 Steel do for you? We make custom steel products made right here in Illinois. Fire pits of all kinds, knockdown styles to take along anywhere. Hold your drinks high with our drink stands while pouring horseshoes or bags. We have a complete line of military to firefighter signs, flags, hats, stickers, and more, along with many styles of decor. Welcome signs and custom clocks to a number of different monograms and signs. Personalized, custom options for your perfect sign. Bare steel or powder coated to last indoors and outdoors. 360steel.com. Spell it out. 360steel.com. What can 360 Steel do for you? We make custom steel products made right here in Illinois. Fire pits of all kinds, knockdown styles to take along anywhere. Hold your drinks high with our drink stands while pouring horseshoes or bags. We have a complete line of military to firefighter signs, flags, hats, stickers, and more, along with many styles of decor. Welcome signs and custom clocks to a number of different monograms and signs. Personalized.
Well, we already played that one. I'll pull out of it. So here we are. Mr. Twist and Shout. And David, by the way, everybody's going to get to see it later on. He can actually twist and shout. I got him to do it on the top end after winning there in the D Field. So it's more than just a name on a funny car. And we'll start there. I want to know, why twist and shout with your hot rod?
So my dad actually used to run alcohol funny car way back in the day. So he ran a couple of injected alcohol cars with nitrous on them in the Midwest injected circuit. Then he stepped into top alcohol funny car with the UDRA and IHRA, and all 5 of his funny cars were called Twist and Shout. And we actually didn't join Funny Car Chaos until we found a body that was nearly identical to the last one that he had. That ugly but somehow different and awesome Beretta body that we run is just like the one that my dad had, so it needed the same name on it.
That makes sense. I like that story. Continuing family tradition.
That is a great story. You're right. And we talked about this on with the fans there at Cordova. You don't see a lot of Beretta bodies. You've never seen a whole lot of Beretta bodies. I always liked them, and so when I saw you start running with us last year, Eddyville or Cordova last year was your first race with us, isn't that right?
Yep, Cordova was the first race.
I think you've raced a couple of times last year and a couple of times this. Man, that.
Sorry, we broke up there a little bit.
David, you back?
Okay, I was. I think it was buffering. I don't know where y'all lost me or I lost you. Anyway,
it's live, man.
yeah, it is. Okay. Now, Neil, family. I see you guys' shirts, Girot Family Racing, and I didn't realize how far that goes back. But you say your dad had 5 funny cars, and I'm sure that somewhere along the way I've seen Twist and Shout on a funny car when I was thumbing through the pages of Hot Rod or Carcraft or any of the other magazines. But to have you racing with us is great. Tell us about that family experience and how you grew up in it, and you've got family helping you run this thing now.
Yeah, so Dad actually stopped racing when I was 4, and he did a great job of staying away from it. He knew as soon as he went back to it that he'd get sucked right back in. But I started dragging him to races, and there's a lot of great people out there that he used to race with that, kept telling us, like, we need to go buy that car. We need to go buy these parts. And finally, we pulled the trigger and bought a car. We actually built the car as an NHRA comp eliminator car. It's only 390 very upset cubic inches, but it's a beast. And now that we've tossed the funny car body on it, it's actually a lot of fun to drive. And my uncle comes out and helps me. He used to race with my dad. And then obviously dad's there to make sure that we don't do anything stupid, or moderately stupid anyway.
Still looking out for you.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of the mad scientist where the car will never be fast enough and I always want to change something. And he's usually the voice of reason to say, why? Why can't we just go out and win this round and try not to break anything?
And be able to come back the next round and be able to come back the next race.
Yep, he's an absolutely phenomenal mechanic, and he knows more about these cars than I probably ever will, but I still got to argue with him a little bit. He's still my dad.
Well, winning on Father's Day weekend, that had to be just a little bit extra special for both of you.
Well, that's the first win that I've had as a driver, and if you look at the post that I shared from Cordova, very first thing I said was, we got it done, and then Happy Father's Day. I mean, I couldn't think of a better gift. I hope he enjoyed it as much as I did.
Well, I feel pretty confident that he did. Now, you said something intriguing there. You said 390 cubic inches. Is that right?
Yep, it's 4.375 bore and a 3 1/4 stroke. It had to have been the smallest engine in competition at every funny car chaos race we've been at.
Well, okay, so you don't hear that very much. About the smallest I hear is 413. And so is this a combination that your dad ran, or how did you arrive at that bore and stroke?
So we started out, like I said, we built the car for Comp Eliminator, which is all weight per cubic inch. And there's a car out there floating around the Georgia, Florida area that's about 380 cubic inches. But if you guys have seen me, I'm not the smallest human being in the world. So 390 is about as light as we could make the car. So we're 2110 with an altered body on it, probably 2250 with funny car body on it. But, you look at the modern alcohol funny car motor, small stroke, big bore, wind them up, build a ton of torque at 9,000 RPMs plus. That's what it's all about. This car is pretty impressive for what it is.
Yes, it is. And, you just went consistently down the racetrack. What, you qualified number one at 436. How does that stack up in terms of your, career performances with this short stroke engine?
We've been 426 with the altered body on it in the 8. Our best run with the funny car body was last year when I sent it into the corn at Eddyville. We went 434. So that 36 was really a pretty nice run. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want more out of it. That's why we went out and shook as hard as we did in the third qualifying session. We got greedy and changed a lot in the transmission trying to make our hero shot into the C field. But fortunately, we didn't make it, and we were able to come back and win the D field.
Well, you have elevated yourself in the point standings pretty well with this win from the number one spot. You got all 63 available, and that I don't know if that means that you might chase a few more races, but you have certainly made a believer out of a lot of folks after this performance at Cordova. I didn't realize how close you are from Elizabeth, Illinois, where you live, to Cordova. Man, that's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Oh, yeah. I've spent many events down there. I ran junior dragsters down there when I was 10 years old. I've been watching the Crownhart family, Danny, his dad, run jet cars since I was 6 years old, and probably before that. Just, I finally remembered at that age, and it was awesome. I told Lee down at the finish line after we won that it was the perfect place to do it. Had a little heartbreak thinking we should have won some other races, but I'm glad that was the first one for sure.
And that is going to be a big, huge memory forever. You know, man, growing up there at Cordova, the series, you got Arnie Beswick from right there in Morrison. And I mean, that's right there. Of course, our title sponsor, Twisted Shifters 360 Steel, is right there at Fulton. And, you know, there is so much history right there. You know, your dad and just all these people around there. You know, I really fell in love with the Quad Cities and Cordova Dragway the first time I went up there last year. And, man, I don't love it any less after this trip. So, so you work again in the engineering field, is that right?
I'm an engineer by degree. I'm actually newly, as of today, a production manager about an hour, maybe not even an hour, 45 minutes north of Cordova in a little town of Savannah. So, yeah, I've got that engineering mind where things are never right. There's always room for improvement. And I think that's really fitting for racing.
It is, and you know, you look back and you think of some of the major names that have made things happen in racing. You go to Ram Chargers, you know, a bunch of Chrysler engineers, and they were shaking things up. So yeah, you know, we were talking about Furches earlier. Tom Furches having that same engineering mind, and there's so much of that in racing. There's always a little bit more that could always just be a little bit better, and that serves you well. It really has. So who all was with you? You talked about your dad, and you talked about some people. You had 4 people there in the picture in the winner's circle, but that wasn't everybody.
No, I had a lot of family down there. My grandmother was down there to support us. She's been to a couple of races in the area. And then I had my sister backing me up. She actually lives out in San Diego and just happened to be out here on the weekend to help support us. And then all the way off to the right of me in that picture is our friend Chuck. He's an old friend of my dad's, used to go racing with him. He has a trucking company. He's the only name that we've got on the car as a sticker, Chuck Paul Trucking. He's just a really, really great dude. Helps us put some fuel in the truck every once in a while. Just comes out because he loves racing, and he helps talk Dad and I out of making dumb decisions sometimes. He's really the voice of reason in the craziness of trying to make that thing run.
Wow. Yeah, that is great. So Victoria, is that your sister?
Yes, she is.
Okay, so she's in San Diego, but came in and did a great job with the backup girl duties, and seemed to be having as much fun as you were. So your impression of CHAOS, you're 4 races into CHAOS, you know, in a couple of years, and you know, how do you like the vibe? Does it fit with your racing operation and your family?
Oh yeah, for sure. Believe it or not, we had no intentions of running Funny Car Chaos. I mean, I've been watching it on YouTube since they ran the very first run in Denton. But after we went to Eddyville, it would have been in 2020. We drove out, we watched it, and I spent the whole 3-hour drive telling Dad, like, we got to go do this. It's attainable, it's fun, the people are having fun, let's do it. And after we went and ran the first race, my dad was like, I'm hooked. We wanted to make sure that we stayed committed to the comp eliminator stuff because we're super passionate about it. I love these little blown motors, and I want to wring it out for all it's worth. But Funny Car Chaos is such a nice break. The people are awesome. I mean, it's not often that you feel bad for a competitor, but I was about half sick for Jordan when they backed him off the starting line in the final round, man. I know what that felt like. I felt terrible. But it's not often that you feel that way about your competitors.
Yeah, that was heartbreak for the Baloo Thunder team over there. And you know, he was posting about that, and they had a new sensor on the thing that when it senses you're in a little too far, a little too much, it shuts it off. And okay, so I read some pretty cool comments about that. But yeah, it is a great sense of camaraderie, and you know, Chris Graves' rule number 1: have fun. And doggone, I tell you, people could you hear the fans at Cordova? I mean, how they were just into it.
I could hear them. So like a nitro card, make a pass, and you're back in the staging lanes. But it didn't get any quieter because the fans were going nuts. Like you could tell when Joey Haas or Motri went down. Motri's car's been down that track hundreds of times, and people still were going nuts for it. I mean, that place was electric. That's part of what makes Cordova special for sure, is the fans in that track are always awesome.
Yeah, yeah, they really are. And we've already announced that we're coming back for 2024, and on another Father's Day weekend again. That'll be a chance for you and your dad to come back out and see if you can defend that title.
Oh yeah, we'll be back. It's too close to not go out and try it. And Funny Car Chaos is a blast, man. I think I've told Chris thank you at least 9 times since he gave me the check on Saturday night. He's probably getting tired of hearing it, but I really do. I love Funny Car Chaos. It's a blast.
Well, we love having you join us, and we love hearing you say it. But uh, that's little brand of magic that was created by Chris back in 2017. It is so exciting to see it just continue and continue to draw people, and it's just getting to be a bigger family and so much fun. You know, we've got over 170 racers now that have run in Funny Car Chaos. I didn't know there's that many funny cars in the world, but doggone, we've had a whole bunch of them come out, and there's even more on the way because there are people that are building funny cars and putting them together right now. We're sure glad that you're amongst the people that have found the fun that we have at Chaos. Now, is it the same chassis you change it, you transform it from funny car to altered when you go comp eliminator racing?
Yep, it's the same. It takes us about an hour. We have to swap chutes, put a turtle deck on it, take off some brackets that hold the funny car body on, swap headers. That's about it. If we weren't worried about weight with the comp car, we wouldn't even switch headers and wheels. It is very much the same thing.
All right, and that's the little angry, right?
Yep. Made our debut at the Fuel Altered Nationals about 3 years ago, and people didn't understand why it was funny until we kind of explained the engine combination, and then they thought it was a little more fitting.
Uh-huh. I get that now. I surely do. I've seen some names like that, and Jagger Naves is chiming in talking about all the number of people that we're going to add. We think that after we go to Maryland, it'll be 200 funny cars that have raced in Funny Car Chaos competition. So what's next on your agenda for 2023 in your racing season?
So we had actually originally planned on going out to Kearney, but one of the guys that we raced with, Jim Greenheck in Comp Eliminator, bought the drag strip up in Rock Falls, Wisconsin, and he's hosting a little Comp Eliminator race. And we're a sucker for a new track that's 3.5 hours from home, so we're going to toss the altered body and go up there, and that'll be the weekend after July 4th. Then we've got ourselves a points race in Indianapolis the first weekend in August, and then down to the Fuel Altered Nationals.
All right, and you run turbochargers on your 390? Is that what you said?
Nope, supercharged.
No,
Standard
supercharged.
fuel.
Okay, I heard that wrong. Okay, yeah, so supercharged on your in Comp Eliminator. That Comp Eliminator class, that's one of the coolest things ever.
I've ran against 500-inch pro stock motors and dragsters. I've actually drove one of those. I've ran against a 130 cubic inch twin turbocharged 4-cylinder that absolutely embarrassed my beautiful blown Hemi. You want to talk about some brilliant minds and some very aggressive racers. Comp Eliminator is a special place, and they are one big happy family. Once you're in that group, they love it. There are people that hate blown cars, hate alcohol cars, but think our car's cool because we're running Comp Eliminator.
Well, it's to each his own, and there's a great community of racers out there, and you've got a good group in Comp Eliminator, but you're certainly got a family at Funny Car Chaos, and now you're one of the 50. I believe we got 52 now that have won a Funny Car Chaos event. So that's some pretty high cotton there, my friend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Like I said before, I couldn't think of a better racetrack to do it at. I'm just super thankful for the Crown Heart family and all the guys at Cordova. And then obviously you and Lee coming out, supporting us. It's not a short trip up there. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it is a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys had fun too.
Oh man, did we ever. Well, what else would you like to share? You've talked about your sponsor, and we've talked about your race car. What do you see as ongoing plans for 2024? You think you might do a little more chaos racing?
We will for sure do a little more funny car chaos racing. Dad and I are on the fence. So I have stated before, I have a deep affinity for these supercharged alcohol engines, but there's always that something about nitro motors. And now that there's injected nitro legal in alcohol funny car, my dad's pushing me. I'm not sure if it's the direction I want to go, but there's a lot of similar parts. Maybe we change up our combination and try to run a little closer to the A field than where we've been running at.
Wow, that will be interesting. There's just a few of those injected nitros funny cars that are out there, and they've had flashes of brilliance, and it certainly demonstrates some great potential. And consistency is lacking, so it just might be, who knows, a twist and shout injected nitro funny car. Maybe you guys will be the one to entirely crack the code. We will look forward to finding out if you actually do go in that direction. What a great thing to look forward to. Well, man, Neil, we appreciate you and your family. And we want to wish you the best in the race that you've got coming up at the new track and at the event over at Indy. We wish you the best. We want to congratulate you on a terrific race at Cordova and welcome you to the Winners Club, so to speak, at Funny Car Chaos. It was a great performance, and we're proud of you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming up north. Glad you guys brought the series up close to us so we can play.
Shoot, yeah, man. We're finding it to be a great home for funny car fans and race fans. The enthusiasm is unparalleled. So, again, thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Neil Girot, your winner with the D Field and. At Cordova Dragway, racing right there on his home court, so to speak, and bringing a great show, and looking forward to seeing him again in 2024. So, well, our Carney coverage will be big time coming your way in a little while. We'll talk more about that, and we have another guest coming up in just a few minutes. The winner of the Alkydigger B Field, Robbie Massey, another racer with great family history. And we will be back with Robbie Massey right after this.
Spell Paving Services provides professional customer service and performance for your next industrial or large-scale private paving project. From parking lots, roads and driveways, to seal coat, chip seal, concrete and asphalt, there's no job too big for the team at Spell Paving Services. Serving a 500-mile radius from Dallas-Fort Worth, Spell Paving Services has you covered. Call 214-384-3056 to get a competitive quote today and tell them the Chaos sent you.
Check out Twisted Shifters for the largest selection of made in the USA custom shift knobs and adapters. Made for muscle cars, old and new, hot rods to race cars, and for the big rigs. With our original shift toppers adapter for the air shifters to use any threaded shift knob like the old days. Add custom lettering and logos to make it your own custom shift knob. TwistedShifters.com. We are made in America and we ship worldwide.
And we welcome to the show Robbie Massey, winner in the B Field. Robbie, I first got to meet you there at Eddyville. You were provisional #1 qualifier there for a bit, so you've got a high-performing car. Definitely showed that at Cordova with a win. Why the hiatus for you and the family from funny car racing?
Hey, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me. So the hiatus was more of a personal thing. I had some stuff going on outside that was distracting me, and I'll probably share a little bit more as time goes on, but I just had some stuff I had to get straightened out, and I did, and we're here now. So yeah, I couldn't be happier or more blessed to still be here. So.
Well, that is outstanding. And again, welcome to the show. We've seen you in action a few times, and man, what a beautiful car and what a well prepared car. And so the 370 performances there at Cordova Dragway, you were very consistent and very on point. And and that beautiful car with the backing from Carl, the Carl Group. Am I correct that that's your employer?
Yes, sir. Carl supported me. I've been racing junior since I was 8 years old. He supported me since then. And once I turned about 14, I started working for him. I'm 30 now, so I worked for him for quite some time, but he's always been a great family friend, or he is family to me. But yeah, Carl Customs, Carl Auto Group, yeah, they're definitely our number one backer. I can't tell you how much he's done for me and my family. Yeah, and he's super involved. He was watching us, keeping up on us, and it's pretty cool if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. And of course, he does a lot for the racing community with his support there at Eddyville Raceway Park. In addition to that, so you've raced a couple of times with us this year. Had a great performance at Eddyville and wound up closing the deal at Cordova. So is this the same car that we saw a couple of years ago and that you were racing at that time?
Yes, sir. Yep. Same car, different wrap. We did get it rewrapped. We kept the Kendall motor oil on there for a while, just kind of a tribute to Vern Motes. Obviously he means a lot to me and my family as well. But yeah, last year we decided to go with the different wrap. I guess it was 2 years ago now. We went with the different wrap and kind of start our own little legacy here. And yeah, nope, but same car, same chassis, same motor, all that. Just we do a little bit different little things here and there.
So Motes and Massey, a name that anybody that's been around drag racing for any period of time at all, especially those of us that have been around it for a long time, those are a couple of names that everyone has heard of because of the incredible success that they have had over the years. When we talked with 2022 champion Kirk Williams, of course, Vern Motes was his inspiration. He talked about being a kid sitting on the grass watching Vern Motes running a funny car and says, I'm going to do that one of these days. And, and you might have a similar story, except even more so with the family involvement. Take us through that, if you don't mind, sharing the history of the family and how you guys all raced together.
Yeah, so my dad met Vern when he was in his early 20s, and Vern more or less took him under his wing, and I think they spent a lot of time together. Obviously, they both are a wealth of knowledge on these things. But yeah, I've got stuff everywhere. I'm looking at a picture right now of him and Vern, an old article. But yeah, Vern was always a supporter of me as well as my dad, personal and on the track. He was always there for us. He definitely holds a special place in all of our hearts. But yeah, and Todd Grimm, he was another one that Vern kind of took under his wing as well. He was with us this weekend. He does the bottom end on our car. But yeah, it's everybody that raced with Vern for the most part is racing with me and my dad. So it's pretty cool. And yeah, Vern definitely changed the racing world, far and away and all different aspects of it.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So you raced junior starting at 8. You mentioned going to work at Carl at 14, but were you still racing juniors? Did you age out, or did you step up to a big car at some point?
I aged out of juniors. Yeah. We drug that thing all over the country. I had two of them. I had an outlaw car and a bracket car. But yeah, I aged out 18. And then we ended up taking a year off and got a Copo Camaro the first year it came out. Did the stock eliminator thing there for a little while. Then, yeah, I think we did that for 2 or 3 years and figured out that really wasn't for us. We bracket raced it thereafter for a little while. Then we got a top dragster, raced that for a couple years. And then we've always had Vern's funny car sitting in our garage. And then I grew up racing with Chris Menapace. He worked for JFR. He works on Mike Castellano's Pro Mod car now, but he caught wind that we had that funny car sitting in our garage, and he came down. Probably 2 or 3 times before we ended up taking the car up to his place. But yeah, that's kind of where it all started. We started tearing that thing apart in my garage, and then yeah, I mean, it kind of just, well, one thing led to another, and my dad started getting super interested in running this thing again, and I'm just lucky how things kind of fell together.
Well, you and me both, and all of the Funny Car Chaos Nation as well, because getting a chance to see you guys come out and bring that car out of somewhat retirement, and man, it is still a beast.
Yeah. The guys always, or my crew always kind of gives me crap that we're polishing a turd, but man, I love that turd. That thing's awesome. It's a very, very good car. I love it. You broke up there. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, so when you were running junior dragsters, you had one that you would run, brackets, but did you also run Outlaw 330 with your other car?
Yeah. We ran Outlaw 330 quite a bit, and I think that just the motion of swapping feet with the junior, I think that's helped me a lot coming into this car with the clutch and everything. The handbrake was a little new, but yeah, definitely the Outlaw 330 was a big deal for us. We took it very seriously. Did really well, and we definitely did towards the end more Outlaw 330 than we did the bracket stuff. But we did both. We did both. We did quite a bit of both.
Well, that's one of the things in my background was a junior dragster director at Texas Raceway for several years. And when we got our CompuLink timing system, we were actually the first track in the country where they had speed. They had the 2 sensors at the 330. So when we had a couple of big junior dragster races there each year, and when we're running some Outlaw 330s and the racers actually began to see their speed at the 330, whoa, the word got out, and we have people come in with their Outlaw 330 cars, just to get that reading. Junior dragsters, I don't have to tell you that they're real race cars, because you just explained how swapping feet, learning that in junior dragster has been helpful to you. But 0 to 74 miles an hour is actually what the number is on those Outlaw 330 cars. A lot of people just know the ET, but yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a ride for what started as a 1-cylinder Briggs & Stratton lawnmower engine. I remember, I'll never forget, we were actually at Cordova, and they had I don't know what class they called it, but it was a 330 class, and we were able to yank all the weight off the 330 car. It didn't really, the motor didn't even sound that happy, but we ran a 410 to the 330, and that was that definitely turned some heads as far as what those things are capable of.
Yeah, that is record. That is in record territory for those deals. So That's pretty incredible. So, but one of the things, and the reason I dwell on the point, is junior dragsters being the entree for people that want to race to actually get some great experience. And you don't have to, I don't have to look anywhere except the guy that's on the screen with me is a successful racer in his own right in multiple classes, and it's happening all across the country. So the idea of junior dragsters being being the gateway to people racing whatever they want to race, all the way up to the top echelons, it's proven to be a great benefit and a boon to our business and to our industry. And so I think your experience is a testament to how that works. Now it's a cool ride and it's a great hot rod, but it's not anything like Top Dragster, and it's not anything like that funny car that you just won Cordova with. And but it did kind of help you get there. For a youngster who doesn't have a funny car in the garage, but they want to have one of these days, give those kids that may come to Funny Car Chaos a little advice and your thoughts on how you get there.
So what I can say is that, obviously it's hard, to compare the two. Growing up with Vern and my dad, and just growing up around that funny car, it's always been my dream. I never thought I'd do it. But all I can say is, just take advantage of what you got in front of you. Do as well as you can, because it transfers over, no matter if you can't really kind of see it, it does. I think the Gordon's daughter, Doug Gordon's daughter just got licensed in a top alcohol funny car. They both did the junior thing. And I know the junior racing now is at, it's at a pretty big level. The thing that these kids are doing as far as the math behind taking so much at the stripe and this and that, it transfers over. Just being able to think in that short amount of time, and just kind of, what I want to say, just kind of rely on your instincts to do the right thing. That transfers over to any part of racing, in my opinion.
Oh, I think you're right. Bracket racers and any kind of racers are very definitely good at math, and it just becomes second nature. And so there's so much, in the schools, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that's drag racing, man. It very definitely is.
Mm-hmm.
And
definitely.
Yeah. So you racing from the state of Iowa, and we've had, a few racers from your home state running in chaos. And of course, Kirk Williams taking the big win with the championship last year, running the table. And there's quite a few other folks from the state of Iowa that have now joined the fray, as we're now up to 4 or 5, half a dozen, and several people getting wins. Is there a fraternal bond, so to speak, with racing people from your home state?
So before this, I match raced Chris Foster. He's out of Iowa as well. He helps Jesse Clark, who I raced in the final. And then Lance Van Houen, he obviously just won at Eddyville. But those are both guys, all three of them guys I look up to. But yeah, we definitely, help each other out any way we can. But just the good vibes that, Funny Car Chaos brings. Definitely when you have other guys in your home state, to kind of, just friendly banter back and forth with. And you just can't beat it.
So you've been racing with these guys for a long time, right?
Yeah. I've helped with Andy Bowles Alcohol Funny Car, so I kind of was able to meet these guys a little bit before I started driving. But yeah, no, I've been racing with them for a while now.
So is this now that you're back in it? Are you feeling? And you talked about you had some things you had to work through, and that's that's cool. But is racing becoming more of a priority? Or are we gonna? And I ask this for selfish reasons, like, are we gonna get to see you more?
Yeah, no. So before I had to go away for a little bit and take care of my stuff, racing wasn't. I didn't treat it as much of a priority as I should have. Definitely having that hiatus away, kind of put things in perspective on what really matters in my life. And racing, it's if not number one. Everything I kind of do kind of revolves around how I can get in this car more. So yeah, you're going to definitely see a lot more of me. You won't see me at Kearney. I have a prior commitment to do the match race at Eddyville for the 4th of July against Nitro Madness. But yeah, you guys will definitely be seeing more of me. I don't know how much more this year, hopefully 1 or 2 more races. But yeah, this is my priority right now.
Excellent. Well, we look for whenever we get a chance to see you at another Funny Car Chaos event. I got to tell you, you represent yourself and you represent your employer and your sponsor there, the Carl Group. You represent all of the above very, very well, and not only on the show here, but at the racetrack. So we really like having families and people that that represent themselves so well as part of the group. So thanks for plugging in with us tonight and letting people get a glimpse into who Robbie Massey is.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it, David. I appreciate the words, and I just got to thank, my dad. I got to thank Carl. I got to thank Todd, Taylor, Grim, everybody in my crew that helps me, that stuck by me these past few years. They really had no reason to stick by me, but they're still here, and I just can't tell you how much it means to me.
A lot of excitement in the winner's circle at Cordova, and might be a sign of things to come, as the Carl Auto Group Mustang has already now let everybody know that they're coming, and they're coming to some more funny car races. Hey man, appreciate you being here, and we'll look forward to maybe another interview, another chance to talk with you, and of course, all your competitors and all the people in Chaos Nation are looking forward to seeing you back whenever that may be. So good luck next week or in a few weeks with your next endeavor. And again, thank you for being on Chaos Live.
Yeah, thank you so much, David, Lee, Chris, Tara. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
All right, so he's still standing, and he's coming back for some more Funny Car Chaos action a little bit later this year, and maybe a lot more in 2024. So Robbie Massey, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with our closing segment right after these words from our friends.
For the Gambler, my goodness, reaching for the sky, and out of the throttle was Bill Naves as he's going to get to the finish line first. 5:52 at 86 miles an hour coasting. What a show put on by the Gambler. Oh my goodness. I think I know what Lee Craft is going to call the chaotic moment of the weekend. Chaotic racer. Probably going to be Casey Giesland as the Gambler was tuned.
Well, in gambling, you've got to play with whatever hand you are dealt, and Casey Giesland, you were dealt the wheel standing hand. What happened out there in that chaotic moment here in Funny Car Chaos?
Well, the car left real good. It felt like it drove probably 10 or 20 feet, and then it just broke the wheelie bar in half right in the middle. It's real unfortunate. I felt like we were going to make a really good pass, and, just that's how the cars fall sometimes. You never know.
For sure. I do know this, though. I believe you're enjoying funny car racing at Funny Car Chaos.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely the best thing we've ever done. It doesn't get any better than this.
Well, maybe you'll have an ace up your sleeve next time there, Mr. Giesland.
Yes, David, that did make the chaotic moment of Cordova.
I had a hunch.
Right, for sure. And what a great show it was at Cordova. Another individual that made some big moves in the points and is excited about making those moves in the points. Mr. Giesland, only 1 point away from the 6th spot. And the top 4 right now, and I'm going to look again to make sure. So Tom Purchase, Alex Barker, Kirk Williams, and then Jordan Ballou. What a interesting top 4 we've got right now going into Kearney. And just looked at the entry list. And I'll say this about the entry list at Kearney. As you mentioned, a lot of funny cars, more than that has been there, which is a great thing to see. Even though mentioning earlier that, hey, some big bad nitro cars are not going to be there in attendance to shake things up, there are some consistent Funny Car Chaos runners that we actually haven't seen in a while. Even a defending winner from that race that will be there that is on the entry list now. That some of these people have finished really well in points, like a Jade Cook. She's apparently going to be back. David Heel going to be back, defending winner in one of the, I believe the B Field there at Kearney Raceway. So, yeah, it's not easy for the top competitors and those running in points in chaos for a championship. It's just flat out tough this year.
It really, really is. When we go, this is kind of the chaos version of the Western Swing, and now we've got a second part of the Western Swing. We're going to go down to Albuquerque a little bit later on, but we get a chance to see a lot of Colorado cars, and Colorado has, we've got so many racers run from Colorado that run chaos and run well, but we generally see them at Penwell, we see them at Kearney. And those are the two main ones where we see the racers from the Great Plains and from the Rocky Mountain states. And man, they are coming out, and it's going to be a dogfight. It is really going to be great up there. Kearney is a track that after the track gets kind of worked in, so to speak, and everybody gets the data and put it into their combination, we see some pretty good numbers up there. And so it's not like we're taking any kind of a step back in performance, but it is going to be so tight with so many cars up there. And, this next race is looks like it's going to be a very excellent race.
I know this. There will be points chaos in chaos, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I'm telling you. Hey, what I started to say a while ago was Wolfman, Ed Wolf. He was a little bit under the weather at Cordova. We got a chance to see him, and he was there, but he wasn't at 100%. So, Ed, we hope you are getting to be feeling better every single day, and we'll look forward to you being back to 100% when we see you at Kearney Raceway Park for our next event.
For sure. And, Ed, thank you for all you do for chaos and everybody's got their own Ed Wolf stories, but when I was first getting into this, Ed was encouraging in his own way to break NHRA rules, and it was quite beneficial. Thank you, Ed.
We've got a great group, and for all of you that have tuned in tonight for Chaos Live, man, it's a pleasure to have you, and thanks for the comments, thanks for everything. Be sure that you like the page and like the YouTube channel. Be sure and share. Let's get as many folks as we can tuning in, because having fun, rule number one, we want to invite everybody get in on some of this, because it's like Casey Giesman was saying, it doesn't get any better than this.
Absolutely correct. And, I have to agree with Neil. We go to some good fan bases around the tracks that we go to, and the fans at Cordova, they were getting into it. They were a lively, spirited bunch. When I go in the stands and film, I always wonder what I'm going to run into, and it's always interesting to get interactions from the fans and chat with them. I even got to chat with a couple that, they had traveled 2.5, 3 hours away to come and experience CHAOS over some other races and to see it for the first time in person, though they had seen it on Flow Racing and seen it on YouTube. So the CHAOS is growing. Cordova is back and cannot wait to get back there in 2024 and do it again and be bigger and better.
It will be good. When on the post where it was announced that we were coming back, and boy, that was quick, wasn't it? The commentary from people that had never been to CHAOS before and posted on there and said, "Can't wait to have y'all back." That's kind of one of those things that we live for. It's like, knowing that you've made a positive impression. And man, these teams that we have that race Funny Car CHAOS, they put on a great show. They leave a great impression, and folks just can't wait to see them, which is no wonder because they're such phenomenal folks.
For sure. Let's give a
rundown. Is that going to do it for us tonight, Lee?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a very quick rundown. We didn't have all the winners on tonight, but let's do a quick rundown of the winners from Cordova. I've got those photos. So, David, I'm going to bring them up, and you let everybody know those winners.
Yes, indeed. There was your D Field, and thanks very much to Michael Spitzer and to Alan Middendorf, and we had folks that were stepping up for that D Field to make it take place, and Roger Stanky was the third one, and so that final round with unfortunate break for Jordan Ballou, but Neil Girot, your D Field winner with the Twist and Shout Beretta. In the C Field, it was also a competition by run there, as Bill Naves and his little buddy, his little guys, he says, he and Jagger came out, and they were unable to answer the call for the final. Had some, as so often is the case, had some little inexpensive parts that gave up, and so they were unable to get into the final round. But Tom Furches, Father's Day, happy birthday, happy taking the points lead day, and the Made in America car out of Colorado. Big win for that team. And then in the B Field, we just got a chance to hear from Robbie Massey, as the B Field featured a couple of racers from Iowa, as Jesse Clark has been representing himself very, very well, and they're buddies with Robbie and their team. So they've been racing together for quite some time. But Robbie Massey closes the deal and gets the Alkydigger B Field win with a very nice series of 370 runs all weekend long. Then up in the A Field, it was the Nimrod bunch, and that big pump double mag Hemi Camaro Nimrod, man, those guys really turned it on. 244 plus miles per hour for top speed of the event, and they also took home that CP Carrillo bonus money for the top speed of eliminations, and those 3.4 second elapsed times, a couple of 348s and a 347. Man, they were really rocking and rolling. The video from after the sun goes down was epic, and got a chance to see those big header flames. Another big win, the second win of the season for Joey Haas and that Nimrod funny car. That makes 4 final rounds for that team. He didn't get the win in his old Nimrod Mustang, the alcohol fueled car. Those have been a while back now, but the Nitro car has got 2 wins in 2023. Actually, I think they are top 16 in points. Where's Haas? Number 11 in points right now. So if they chose, to chase the points. They'd be right in the thick of it. Don't know that that's going to happen, but they have certainly done well, showing up to a couple of events and taking home one of those coveted Funny Car Chaos winners trophies in both races.
Absolutely correct. And I do know from talking with Joey that Dad's getting in the car, the American Way body's going on it, so match racing is about to happen, and Joey alluded to some big announcements. So for Mr. Haas, can't wait to hear what he has in store. So everybody, make sure you are. I think it's Joseph Haas. No, it's Joey Haas Racing. I think on Facebook. I think right off the top of my head. But give him a follow over there, and we'll be looking forward to some good news from him. David, as always, a pleasure to be on Chaos Live with you and with each and every one of you out there. Thank you for watching.
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. We will see you for the next episode of Chaos Live in a couple of weeks, and we hope to see all of you in person at Kearney Raceway Park. 3 weeks. Be there. Good.
For the Gambler, my goodness, reaching for the sky, and out of the throttle was Bill Naves as he's going to get to the finish line first. 5:52 at 86 miles an hour coasting. What a show put on by the Gambler. Oh my goodness. I think I know what Lee Kraft is going to call the chaotic moment of the weekend. Chaotic racer. Probably going to be Casey Giesland as the Gambler was tuned.
Well, in gambling, you've got to play with whatever hand you are dealt, and Casey Giesland, you were dealt the wheel standing hand. What happened out there in that chaotic moment here in Funny Car Chaos?
Well, the car left real good. It felt like it drove probably 10 or 20 feet, and then it just broke the wheelie bar in half right in the middle. It's real unfortunate. I felt like we were going to make a really good pass, and just that's how the cars fall sometimes. You never know.
For sure. I do know this, though. I believe you're enjoying funny car racing at Funny Car Chaos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely the best thing we've ever done. It doesn't get any better than this.
Well, maybe you'll have an ace up your sleeve next time there, Mr. Giesland.
Race fans, the funny cars are back. Kearney Raceway Park welcomes Funny Car Chaos. Friday night and Saturday, July 7th and 8th. This is the fastest, loudest, most ground-poundingest drag race of the year. Kids 12 and under get in free, and every ticket's a pit pass. Plus, don't miss the fireworks show Saturday night. It's Funny Car Chaos at Kearney Raceway Park, July 7th and 8th. And you just gotta be there. Visit krpi.com for more info.